We've been to Africa, the Caribbean and the USA. A penny for the thoughts of Chairman Mao as world's strongest man comes to China. China!
Into its 28th year, and the Metrek's world's strongest man moves to China. Beijing, Shanghai and Hong Kong may be more recognizable destinations, but the competition this year is in Chengdu, the country's 4th largest city. With its tranquil ancient temples and peaceful hidden corridors, is Chengdu ready for this? So it's on to the first group of the qualifying rounds for this year's World's Strongest Man. And down at Nangzhou Park for the traditional opening event is our commentary team of Bill Kazmaier, 3 times the World's Strongest Man himself, Colin Bryce, and first of all, Nick Halling.
Yes, thanks, John. 5 fellas at the start line. Big fellas, all nervous as kittens at the moment, and they don't come any bigger than this. Dominic Filiu at 402 pounds, the biggest man in the tournament. And alongside him, Mick Gosling, the boat builder from Wolverhampton, Britain's strongest man. He's looking a bit anxious as well, isn't he? And here in lane 3, Raivis Vidzis, the little Latvian, only 5 foot 8 inches tall, but packing a lot of beef into that diminutive frame. Another East European alongside him, Jarek Dymek of Poland, 5 foot 9, and a solid 275. And rounding out the quintet in this Group 1 is the American Josh Thigpen from Texas. Looking very cocky and confident, isn't he?
There's 3 parts to this contest. The first 10 meters you have to carry the 100-kilo anchor, link it up to the chain, then drag that 660-pound anchor all the way over the 20-meter line, sprint back, and then you have to pick up that 225-kilo duck walk.
And that's the bit that really does separate the men from the boys. Anyway, they're off and they're up and running. Thigpen, the American nearest to us, has made a solid start on the far side. Filiu's going well, and Mick Gosling's very much in the thick of things as well.
Well, you think body weight would help here. Filiu's 400-pound frame dragging that chain and anchor. But I tell you what, it's Thigpen who's in the lead at the moment.
It certainly is. It's a North America 1-2. Thigpen's got the lead, but there goes big Dominic Filiu trundling down the track. Now this really will sort them out. That 495-pound weight. And it's so wide, Colin. That's the problem these fellas are going to have.
Well, Thigpen's 6'5" there, and he can't even stand up with it without it bumping into his thighs. 20 meters, it certainly looks a very long distance at the moment.
Now, look at this. It's Vidzis that's getting through. Mick Gosling's having a tough time. Vidzis is going very well, though, right in the middle. Lane 3, the Latvian doing very well. And he's got a good lead here. Thigpen seems to be running out of steam. Big Dominic Filiu's in trouble, and Mick Gosling just cannot get this thing going.
Well, I guess you can't use the excuse of height here. Raivis Vidzis, the shortest man in the competition, now in the lead. And I guess this is all about his lower back strength. A great power lifter from the past.
Well, Thigpen's still in second, but Dymek is closing on him, and Filiu's having a go in lane 1, but it's all over. And there is one happy man, Raivis Vidzis from Latvia.
Well, it was the speed of youth and Thigpen who managed to get to the turn the quickest, but it's the fitness of Raivis Vidzis. He's done his homework better than anybody else who took the lead.
And Bill Kazmaier is with our winner.
Raivis, first time at the World's Strongest Man. Great start. Tell us about it.
I feel very tired because before competition I'm nervous, and because it's a very important competition for all athletes.
Well, 500 pounds in your hands going back. What about the pain?
For pain, no time, because you only work and your mind is gone and your body work 100%.
Well, nice job.
Thank you.
So an impressive start for the man from Latvia, winning that by well over 3 meters, in fact. But for Mick Gosling, a disappointing start in his bid to get through to the final.
Well, as you can tell from that first race, there's a lot of familiar faces, but a lot of new faces too in this year's World's Strongest Man. And amongst the new faces for British viewers is our expert summariser this year, a man who won this competition 3 years in a row, and the last American to lift the title, Bill Kazmaier. You've been coming to this event for more than a quarter of a century now as competitor and analyst. Have you ever known a country just embrace an event quite like this? Extraordinary, isn't it?
It is, John. I really haven't seen a country that'll get behind the event like this, donating not only the properties, but also the resources to make it just an awesome event.
And what about the overall quality of the competitors this year?
It's truly incredible. Of course, we've got Marios and all the top poles, but we've got many new Americans, and the quality of competition is truly the best ever.
And you mentioned the Americans. It's, 23 years since you last won it. So realistically, what chance do you think the Americans have got this year?
I think a pretty good one. Jesse Marundi looks awesome. Don Pope is great too. Dave Oslin is really one of the best that we've got from America.
This is the format, very similar to previous years. 5 groups of 5 athletes. Each athlete competes in 6 disciplines, the top 2 going through to the final. And these are the first 5 competitors.
Dominique Filiou, Canada.
Raivis Vidzis, Latvia.
Mick Gosling, England.
Jarek Dymek, Poland. Josh Thigpen, USA.
And after the break, one of the oldest tests of strength for our first 5 athletes, the deadlift. Don't go away.
Welcome back to World's Strongest Man in Chengdu, China.
And here we go with the deadlift. 7 beer barrels. And it's not beer they're lifting, it's a lot of weight.
It's going to be 7 lifts in total. First one without any of the extra barrels put in, but each of the good lifts, a barrel will fall in, and it gets up to a maximum weight here, 345 kilos.
Well, most of us, of course, can't manage anything heavier than a pint down the local pub, but these fellas are going to do a lot more than that. And first up is the Canadian Dominique Filiou.
Down. Good lift.
And here come the barrels, and these weights will just start to rise.
Down. Good lift.
Maximum of 7 lifts in the shortest possible time, and listen to that crowd giving Filiou every encouragement.
Good lift. What is truly amazing here is that this man's only been weightlifting for a couple of years, and this has to be considered an exercise which suits the more experienced men, those that have really put the hours in the gym.
He struggled on that last one, Colin. How's he going to do with this extra one? And it really is looking difficult for him. I don't know if he's going to make it. Oh, what a great effort.
Good lift. Just managed to jack it up there, didn't he? He has to get the hips through to call it a good lift.
I don't think he's going to make this one, but I didn't think he was going to make the last one. But surely this one is beyond him. He really struggled on that 4th one.
Well, you can see the pressure there. Actually, blood coming from his head where there's some blood capillaries have burst. That just shows you how brutal and how much pressure there is in this kind of event. Jacking it up the legs there, that has got to hurt.
Well, I've heard of giving blood, but that's ridiculous. Dr. Richard Smith on clean-up duty. And next up, Mick Gosling, Britain's strongest man. Let's hear from him.
It's an amazing place. We had a walk around the city last night, and everyone was looking at me like, you know, I was as a freak. It was a good experience, but everywhere you went, they're just looking at you. Obviously, you're not taller than everybody else. But it's just an experience to be here in the first place, never mind being the world's strongest man. Britain's Strongest Man, I trained for 6 weeks for it. It was unbelievable. It was a good experience. This one day I never thought I'd win, and at the end of the day I did it, and nobody can ever take that away from me. It's just great to be part of something that you know, you like say when you was a kid you watched on the telly, to do some of the things that they've done in the past. Perhaps I'll never win World's Strongest Man, but at the end of the day it's just been nice here, nice to compete. I did reasonably well. I know what I need to do to get to the final, and it's going to be tough. Every group's hard, so we just try your best and see what you do.
You ready?
And after coming 5th in the medley, Mick Gosling really needs a big performance in the deadlift. And that's a confident start, but the serious business is yet to come. Well, the first one's good. And he's looking very focused, isn't he, Colin?
Barrel 3, that's 265 kilos. Easy for him, but it's the accumulative weight as it starts to gather that really hurts the lower back.
This is the one Filiu had some trouble with. And Mick Gosling had a couple of problems as well, it seemed. Now, can he go one better than the Canadian? No. He was always struggling with the earlier one, and you thought that's as far as it's going to go. But nevertheless, very generous applause from a crowd that really is appreciating the efforts of these big fellas.
Well, he's got great hamstring strength there, but you can see the lower back rounding out. One of the best in Britain, but struggling here at the world level.
Jarek Dymek. The pole is next up at the deadlift.
Lift. Down. Good lift.
Good lift, as you can hear, but now the serious business starts. And just like the 2 men that went before him, that first one is no problem, the second one is no problem. That was a very confident looking lift. Now, how does he get on with this one? This is the one where the strain really starts to show, and that looked very confident.
Well, training with Mariusz Pudzianowski, the 2 times world's strongest man, must help. But the big question is, how is that injured, torn bicep from earlier in the year handling it?
Well, so far so good, Colin. This is rep 6, and he's walked through that as well, and if he can do one more, he is going to complete all 7. Can he do it? It's on its way, it's looking good. What an effort from Jarek Dymek. And he's saying, give me more.
Well, a virtuoso performance there from the veteran Polishman. I'm amazed just how impressive he was after coming back from that horrific injury.
Tremendous performance from Jarek Dymek. He's with Bill Kazmaier now.
Jarek, you made all 7 lifts look easy. Was it that easy?
No, I like that lift, and I think that I can lift 1 bar, maybe 2 more. But we will see what happened after, because more 2 guys will be lifted after me.
Josh Thigpen, second in the medley. The man from Pasadena, Texas. Not to be confused with Pasadena, California.
Down. Looking at him, you wouldn't assume he's a good deadlifter. Very tall. He's to lift it a lot further than someone like Dymek, who's well under 6 foot.
Rep 3. That's where the strain has started to show for 1 or 2 of the others, and I think it'll go slow here for Thigpen as well, but he's done a very solid 4th rep as well. Now this to take him into 2nd place. And he's slowing, but he's still moving, and he's got it. And hear the encouragement, but no, he knows when he's beaten, and that's as far as it goes. But nevertheless, 5 reps for Josh Thigpen. He'll be very pleased with that, and he knew that he was beaten.
Well, just great determination from Thigpen. Knows that this is his big opportunity. When you're an American, you don't get to come to World's Strongest Man that easily. So this is his big chance, and he's grabbed it.
Now can Raivis Vidzis build on that 1st place in the medley? There's 1 or 2 very interested spectators here, aren't there? Can Vidzis keep his momentum going? There's the first lift.
He's stepping out of the shadow of the great weightlifter Raymond Bergmanis, who competed at World's Strongest Man for so many years from Latvia. So I imagine the pressure is on him big time here, because this was Bergmanis' greatest event.
Well, the little 5'8" Latvian has got through 4 reps without too much difficulty, and he's through 5 as well. This will catapult him for sure in 2nd place, and I don't think he's even going to look at it. No, he says, just like Josh Thigpen, he says that's enough. So it's maximum points for Jarek Dymek.
Dymek is one of the seasoned campaigners taking part in this year's World's Strongest Man, and that's a good win for him by some considerable margin. It's an East European monopoly at the top, but for Mick Gosling, 2 events gone, and he's come bottom in both. So while it's tight at the top of the leaderboard, Mick Gosling is bringing up the rear with just 2, and he needs to start making a move soon. Next up, it's this. So it's back to Century City for the Hercules hold. Here's Nick again.
There's simply no hiding place when the Pillars of Hercules come along. They will test you. They will test how much strength, how much resolve, how much desire you have. And the first man to test himself in this most brutal event is Raivis Vidzis.
Are you ready? Take the strain.
And off we go. And it really is just a question now of Raivis Vidzis against himself and these 2 pillars. How long can he hold them? He's looking comfortable so far. You will see the strain in his eyes, though, I'm sure.
There's almost a feeling here that you're doing damage to yourself. You can feel your shoulder joints popping out and your skin tearing in your hands. It's around about 180 kilos in each hand.
As there comes the furrowed brow and a little grimace there. It's starting to hurt, Vidzis, yes, just like that. As strong as these fellas are, they cannot hide it in their faces when they're struggling, and Vidzis was starting to feel that after about 15 seconds.
Well, this is where the lactic acid is just kicking in. It's a real mind-over-matter sport, but it just unpeeled his fingers. He tried his best, but couldn't hang on any longer.
Dominic Filiu, the big fella. And you just wonder if that additional weight is going to give him an advantage here as we come to the pillars.
Are you ready? Say yes. Yes. Take the strain.
And off we go.
Former world's strongest man in the back there, Joka Ahola and his crew, and it takes 4 guys just to raise up these enormous pillars.
Well, he didn't look too happy from the first few seconds, Filiu. And he's got to hold those pillars for a while yet, and I think he's struggling, Colin. I think he's feeling this.
Oh, the wobble is on, isn't it? It's not an event he enjoys. Got giant hands like a bunch of bananas, but that doesn't always count for grip strength.
But he's hung on brilliantly. He's gone past the Latvian, and I didn't think he was going to get that far. 33.03. So Filiu takes the lead, but that hurt.
You can see he was flinching from early on there, but amazing finger strength to hang on just to the edges of his fingers as it pulled out for a good 10 seconds there. He just handled it.
Now Mick Gosling has really struggled so far. Can he come up with a, excuse the pun, Herculean effort here? Mick really needs a big one in here with the pillars. It's a steady start. Look at that focus. He's looking very good through the first 10 seconds.
One thing you have to say about both of the Gosling brothers is they are incredibly tough men. Very hard, perhaps haven't had as much time to train for this competition as a Gosling brother would have liked, but he's so tough mentally.
Look at that balance. Through 27 seconds, and he hasn't flinched. 30 seconds. Another couple of seconds and he'll be in the lead, and he has taken the lead, and he's looking very good now. How much further can Mick push this? The look on his face hasn't changed. 43.42. Very solid performance from Mick Gosling. At last, he's showing us what he's capable of.
Well, I actually thought he might hang on a little bit longer there, but the left hand just started to slip, and it pulled away. Not enough chalk, perhaps.
Nick, you said before this was the first time you were going to do this event. A 43.44. That's a good time.
Yeah, reasonable. I expected a lot better, I got to admit. Left started going, you know, what do? You try and grip as much as you can. It came undone, so you know.
Well, it puts you in first place at the moment. You got to be happy with that.
I am at the moment, but I personally think it'll be second. But at least I got some points this time.
Let's hope it holds. Keep it up.
Okay, thank you.
So Mick Gosling with a 43.42. I'm not sure if Bill Kazmaier can understand that black country accent. but he'll certainly understand a Texas accent. So we'll know all about Josh Thigpen, the young American, in his first World's Strongest Man. Has made a very solid start. Now, can he knock Mick Gosling off top spot?
Are you ready? Yep. Take the strain.
He's off and running. That very wide stance. The balance so important. The eyes focused, looking ahead, but already you can see he's starting to feel this, and those pillars are wobbling, and Josh has really got to dig in here.
You can see the left hand has already flinched and tried to re-grip. I can't imagine he can hang on long after a re-grip with that weight.
Well, somehow he's regrouped. It looked like he was going to go really early. As it is, he's hung on for 27.75. And looks very disappointed with himself.
Well, he is a real student of the sport. This was his life's ambition, to make it here to World's Strongest Man, and to lose points so badly early on is a big problem.
Josh, obviously you're disappointed. Tell me what happened out there.
I don't know. I never had the right grip from the start. I bent my legs and I felt the pillar start to move on me. And when I stood up straight, I finally got my right grip. So obviously you shouldn't bend your legs. That was pathetic. That was about as bad as it can get. That was probably put me in last place. And it's definitely not going to help my standings. So I got a lot of work cut out for me.
Well, 3 events to go. Can you make this up?
I have to. I will.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And last, but by no means least, the Pole, Jarek Dymek.
Because the sport is very popular in Poland, we are like a movie star. The people love us. We feel like a god. It's the best feeling. February, I'm broken my biceps, but it's nothing because I'm strong man. I like pain. If I feel the pain, I feel that I'm strong. I come here 4th time because I want to compete with the best guys on the world. I'm stronger every year. I think that I have a big chance and I want to win. If I win, I will be very happy man.
A man who enjoys pain. Well, he's in the right place then, isn't he? Because he's going to feel pain for the next 30 seconds or so, or maybe even longer. Can he knock Mick Gosling off top spot?
Well, his former PE teacher, who's now taken up professional strongman full-time, is making a great living out of it. He's a real star back in Poland, as he says. And one of the reasons why is he's ice cool when it comes to events like this. He will hang on no matter what.
Well, you see that injured bicep. And it's the lack of movement that's impressing you, but there was just a hint of a wobble there on that right arm, but he's cracked 30 and he's closing in on Mick Gosling, but now it's really starting to hurt. And he hasn't made it. It's amazing how quickly you run out of energy in this one, and Mick Gosling allows himself a little smile. He's taken the Hercules hold.
So Mick Gosling was unduly pessimistic at the outset. His time of 43.42, good enough to see off the rest and give him maximum points.
Mick, you were a bit disappointed in that 43 seconds, but you won it.
Yeah, it's a surprise. I thought Jarek was going to beat my time, I got to admit, and Josh as well. But obviously, I want you to get over a minute, but you win it with 43. You know, win an event in World's Strongest Man. Well, pleased with that.
And he's got to be pleased too with the way the scoreboard looks now, because Gosling is back in contention, just 5 points off the lead, still held by Jarek Dymek of Poland with 12.
Things you never knew about China, number 1. There are more people learning English in China at the moment than the entire population of the United States of America. Now we've got a real feast coming up here. Let's start, I think, with the crab, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes' time.
Hi, I'm Dominic Filiou, and welcome back to World's Strongest Man.
Yes, welcome back to Chengdu, China's 4th largest city, and this is one of its thriving districts, Jinli, with its bustling market. If crab isn't what you're after, the food area here will provide you with any kind of Chinese delicacy. And let's look back at what's happened so far. In the medley event, it was Josh Thigpen from America that made all the early running, but Ravis Vidkis of Latvia lasted the pace, and he was eventually the winner. Onto the deadlift now, and Canada's Dominic Filiu managed 5 reps, which was then equalled by Thigpen and Vitkis, but the Polish veteran Jarek Dymek overwhelmed the field, lifting all 7 barrels with ease. And then in the Hercules hold, Filiu managed to hold the 353-pound pillars for just over 33 seconds. Dymek managed 38, but it was our own Mick Gosling who held on for 43.42 seconds and won his first event at World's Strongest Man. Which means at the halfway point, any one of our 5 athletes can make it through to the final. Don't forget, the top 2 will qualify, and there's just 5 points separating the field at this stage. Back to the action, and Nick.
5 fingers, the Fingal fingers, awaiting 2 East Europeans. Raivis Vidzis, and right alongside him, his closest rival in the standings, Jarek Dymek, the Pole. And these 2 fellas just casting a little glance at each other. Dymek now focuses on the task in hand, and it's a daunting task indeed. These fingers have broken many.
5 fingers, 75 seconds in which to flip them. The top weight, 660 pounds, 300 kilos.
And it'll be interesting to see if either of these fellas can get to that 5th finger. They always seem to start well, but the 3rd finger tends to be the one that really slows them down, and it's a bit of a race here already. They've both got off neck and neck, and the 2nd finger's gone very easily as well. This is encouraging stuff. The Pole's just got his nose in front, but here comes Vidzis, and they are slowing a little bit. Still Dymek just in the lead, but it's almost neck and neck. Vidzis is right there too. Now the 4th one, this will test them.
An amazing power from Jarek Dymek there. It seems to catch a sticking point right at the 45-degree mark, and I have to say, anyone who does 5 is really world-class. We won't see many of those today.
We're going to see one right here, though. Look at that, Jarek Dymek. 39.50. What a time, what a performance. Vidzis is stuck in the mud. He's got through 4, though. That's no mean achievement either. 4 probably will be good for 2nd place.
Well, the amazing thing here is Dymek isn't a tall man. This tends to suit the very long-armed guys, but blasting through with incredible leg power. 5 in under 40 seconds is truly amazing.
Dominic Filiu up next, and he gets the advantage, or could it be a disadvantage, of going on his own? Well, some guys would sooner have someone to compete against, others are happy in their own little world. Filiu certainly started out fast.
That is well ahead of the pace that Jarek Dymek and Vidzis set, and someone this tall has to have every opportunity of doing all 5.
He's absolutely blasted through the 3rd one, and now we're at 20 seconds and he's on course. He's definitely on course. This 4th one, he's making short shrift of that. Well, there's certainly no problem for Filiu working on his own. Look at this, he's at the 5th already.
There's not many competitors who are almost as heavy as the fingers themselves. Look at him pushing his body weight against it.
Absolutely sensational.
39.17 seconds. That is a phenomenal time from Filiu. I tell you what, this is turning out to be an incredible heat.
It really is. 2 completions out of 3 competitors. Filiu the latest.
Dominic, all 5 fingers in the 2nd fastest time ever in World's Strongest Man. That's got to make you happy.
It makes me very happy. I'm surprised. For me, it was kind of easy, the event.
You've been battling a leg injury. You want to tell us about it and how it affected the event?
Well, my ligaments are damaged a little bit, but it didn't affect me because I got it wrapped pretty good. So I'm fine with that.
Do you think this performance will be good enough to take you through to the final?
I hope so. There's still 2 more events that I'm good at, so I'm staying positive.
Keep it up.
Thank you.
Well, from one giant in China to another. Just 6 miles away from the center of Chengdu is the Panda Research and Breeding Base. The eco-park is home to the largest artificially bred giant panda population in the world. Here, the giant panda has an environment that's ideally suited to its development, and the Institute is dedicated to protecting and increasing the population. In total now, there are fewer than 1,000 pandas anywhere in the world, and 80% of them are in this area. There aren't too many pandas in Poland.
my heart was always with strongman. When I was younger, I saw it on TV, and I saw Bill Kazmaier, and you gotta love the Kaz. I mean, he's the hero. He was just so intense, and so I said when I was 12 years old that I'm gonna be on World's Strongest Man someday, and you know, here I am. Obviously, other sports are easier, but it's something you can't explain unless you're a strongman and you know why you like to pick up stones. It's kind of primitive. You just feel good, you know, looking at something and say, hey, I'm going to pick that up. I'm able to go in and compete against the international guys. That's where the top dogs are anyway. A lot of guys just come out and say, I just want to make the final. That doesn't make sense to me. Why show up? Why compete? You're never going to win if you have that mentality. There's a lot of good guys here, but anybody can be beaten, and I'm going to give it my best to go out and win the whole thing.
Josh Stigpen will have to go up now against Mick Gosling in the third and final heat of the Fingal Fingers. We've seen 2 complete sets done already. That in itself absolutely sensational, and both these two fellas need points if they're going to challenge for a place in the top 2, and the bar has been set very high. These fellas have got to think in terms of all 5 and then worry about the time after that. Solid start from both. Now the American is starting to motor. He's moved ahead of Mick Gosling, has he? Just about neck and neck.
Well, Gosling slightly hurting after the deadlift on his lower back, but must take solace in that great result from the last event.
And he's pushed himself in front here as well, as Thigpen has slowed on that third one. But Mick on the far side is really feeling the heat with this fourth one, and Thigpen's got his motor moving again. Mick's in trouble. The American does 4. Can he go for 5? And I think Mick Gosling is finished, and I wonder if it's that back.
Very disappointing for him as well, because he did so well at this event a few years ago at Britain's Strongest Man.
Well, while we speculate on Mick Gosling, meanwhile, Thigpen here is going for all 5, and he's got a chance. He's got a very good chance. Never mind the time. This is going to be good for third place, and what a tremendous achievement to knock all 5 over. He does it in 1:03.08, and he can celebrate. Not good enough for a top 2 spot. And as for Mick Gosling, well, let's just hope he's okay.
Well, Gosling there, the pressure just getting too much to that 45-degree angle, but I have to say for Thigpen, unlucky to be in such a tough heat.
Meanwhile, Bill Kazmaier is with Mick Gosling.
Mick, you're in the lead on number 3. Number 4, you seem to pull up a little bit. Tell us about it.
I hurt myself. A big sharp pain right on my right side. I've been having lots of physio on it. I thought I'd do 1 and I'd just leave it at that, but it felt all right till I got the second one, third one, fourth. It's not just, I didn't want to carry on.
So disappointed with Mick Gosling that, and finishing bottom there really does mean he's going to find it tough to qualify now. A good victory for the big Canadian though, Filio, and that puts him right in contention, with Dimmick at the top on 16 points. At this stage, you would say it's any one of the top 4 to make it through to the final, but Mick Gosling's in real trouble. Well, the next event for this year's World's Strongest Man relocates us to the busy downtown shopping district. In just a moment, we're going to see the overhead log lift, where the athletes are going to go head-to-head against each other for the first time in this competition. But first of all, let's check on Mick Gosling's injury, which is threatening his chances of making it to the final.
Here in the medical area with Dr. Richard Rico Smith. I understand you've got some unfortunate news about Mick Gosling. Would you share that with the public?
Yeah, during the deadlift he injured his back. Appeared to be getting better, but this morning he woke up, it was stiff. Getting out of the bus this morning, he got a shooting pain down his leg. And examining him, it appears he's herniated a disc in his back, which is now pressing up on a nerve, causing pain and weakness in his leg, and he can't continue.
So obviously bitterly disappointing for the man from the Midlands.
Mick, you just came back from the doctor with a diagnosis of herniated disc, and he's recommended that you pull out of the competition. Just how did that happen?
The deadlift. It's they try to probably do more than they can possibly do, and he's just started from there, and other events have just made it worse and worse.
You must be extremely disappointed to have to pull out now.
I am disappointed. I have worked hard at all the events, with people training at home, and just to be pulled out, it's not a good thing, but what can you do? It's not good carrying on to make it worse.
After 5 or 6 months, What memories and experiences are you going to take back from Chengdu here at World's Strongest Man competition?
Just being here, part of it is a big thing. Obviously doing well at one of the events as well is more of a bonus. It's winning at any event in World's Strongest Man is a big thing. It was a good event, but I expected to win a couple more events, and realistically that was the only chance I got through to getting through to the final, but unfortunately now I can't make it anyway.
Well, good luck healing up. Hope to see you back.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, let's hope Mick is back in action soon. Meanwhile, the show goes on, Colin.
And you wouldn't want to be doing this event with a bad back. 285 pounds overhead as many times as possible in 75 seconds.
And the battle for second spot is very tight indeed. Right now, the Canadian is on the outside looking in. Just behind him in fourth is Josh Thigpen. But both of those two are within striking distance of second spot, which is currently held by the Latvian Raivis Vidsis. So they really are competing against each other here.
Well, it's 130 kilos, which is actually over body weight for Josh Thigpen. But it's not even just the weight of it, it's the sheer thickness as it crushes down against your face on each repetition.
Thigpen's had enough. Filiu has gone past him. So Filiu making a real move here, and that's forced Thigpen to come back and say, I want a bit more. Well, he took a pause to regroup, which is what Filiu's doing now. And Thigpen just about gets 9, but I wonder if he's going to give himself another break. Yep, he's had enough again. He'll need to regroup quickly because here comes Filiu. And they're level again. And the clock keeps ticking. 9 all. Who can make the big push here? Well, I think Thigpen looks like he's in real trouble, so Filiu with a real chance against one of his closest rivals.
Well, Thigpen's got plenty of power, but he's absolutely spent. He's given so much in the other events beforehand. You have to take that into account, but perhaps the fitness of youth can pull out another one.
Oh no, what a shame. What a shame for Josh Thigpen. Big Dominic Filiu has hung on. That could be a very significant result in this race for second place. So we know that Filiu has 10, Thigpen has 9, and both of them just behind Raivis Vidsis in that race for second spot. So all eyes will be on the Latvian.
Oh, you can see Thigpen using his legs well, exploding upwards, but his arms nowhere near as big as Filiu. This man has shoulders 4 feet wide, powering it up without any problem at all.
Well, here's the fella that's currently occupying that second place, but he knows that he's got to find 10 lifts here if he wants to maintain second spot, because the 2 North Americans are on his tail, and this fella's got a healthy lead and won't want to let it slip away. Won't any of those other 3 getting too close to him. He's such a cool dude in those shades. Nothing seems to faze him, does it?
Take your grip.
So here we go. 10 is the magic number as far as Vidsis is concerned. Dimek, well, he's looking confident.
I think Dimek will be pleased that this isn't from the floor each time. That would really stress the bicep, and you can see that left bicep still a little shriveled compared to the right.
Well, 6 without a pause for both of them. Dimek's already on to 8. Well, now it's time for Vidsis to draw breath, and Dimek says, well, 8's enough. I need to just retool, so they both had enough and just need to take a big breath here. And Vidsis really needs to find something extra special here. There's another one, but he needs a few more.
Well, as the days have rolled by, Vidsis has lost body weight badly. Doesn't agree with the Chinese food here. We saw how strong he was in the medley at the beginning.
Dimek's made it to 10, but Vidsis is in real trouble, and it's a very good point you make, Colin. He looked so strong and fresh right at the start of the competition, the Latvian, but I think 7 is it, and he knows that those 2 North Americans may have overhauled him. Dimek's all right. No worries for the big pole, but this fella's running out of gas.
Well, it's delight for the pole there, but disaster for the Latvian. Just completely ran out of anything. Amazing power, though, from the Polish competitor.
Jarek, with that performance, it guarantees you a spot in the final.
Yes, now I'm very happy after this. I'm prepared for power, not for condition, and I'm happy that was not up and down over the shoulder. And I did same result like Dominic. He's very strong, and we have first place in this event. And that after this, I know that I'm in final.
Who do you think from this group is going to join you in the final?
That will be fight to the last stones, because 3 of this guy have same chance. I think Dominic come with me.
Well, we've got used in recent years to seeing Jarek Dimmick in the final of World's Strongest Man, and he's there again, courtesy of that victory in the log lift. And while he may be able to take it easy in the final event, for the rest, it's almost a case of winner take all. The battle is well and truly on for that second qualifying spot. Just 2.5 points separating those 3 athletes. So will it be a Latvian, Canadian or American flag that's flying in the final? Find out soon.
Well, as we get ready for the final act of this leg, the Atlas Stones, we know this. Jarek Dimmick is through, but any one of 3 can join him in the final. Dominic Filiu in second place at the moment. As we look at the rules for those Atlas Stones, they just get heavier and heavier. But the pressure really on the man in 4th place, Josh Thigpen.
Josh, this is your first time at World's Strongest Man. A couple of events you've done extremely well, but a couple maybe you're not so proud of. Going into the Stones, you've got to have an unbelievable effort. Are you ready to bow up and do it?
I've got to, or else I go home. You know, I kind of put myself in this position, so I'm just going to have to give it my all and then let the chips fall where they may. Just got to focus on my stones, doing as fast as I possibly can. So that's all I can do.
Well, good luck to you.
Thanks, Cass.
Well, the problem he's got, of course, is even if he wins, he needs Dominic Filiu to come 4th if he's going to get through. So destiny not in his hands. But the young American going up against Jarek Dimmick knows that all he can do is put in a good time and hope that's going to be good enough. And realistically, Colin, you have to say, though, that Thigpen, well, his hopes are hanging by a thread. He's got to win here and hope the other 2 fellas have a tough time. He really wants the pole to come second as well.
Well, one thing you have to say about Thigpen is he's the perfect shape for stone lifting. Long-armed, tall. He can get his arms around these huge circumferences. And that first one is 100 kilos. Makes it look like nothing.
Made it look like a marble, didn't he? Both of them did. And Thigpen's got his nose in front of Dimmick. So far, so good for the young American. He must beat Dimmick to stay in the competition. And the 4th one is done. Now comes the big one. He's got to keep it going because Dimmick's moving in on him. Well, he's struggling, but so too is the pole. Now he looks like he's got it where he wants it. A second effort, and the American is home.
That double movement on the final stone might cost him. He'll be so pleased he got it up, but 30 seconds and over. Will it be a good time? Normally, yes, but today, who knows?
34.28. Is it enough for Thigpen?
Well, you can see there his grip just went. Didn't quite have enough glue on his arms to help stick to that stone.
Josh, that was an unbelievable effort to get that 5th stone. We don't know if that time's going to hold up, but that was truly awesome.
Well, I got stuck on the edge there. I didn't think I was going to get stuck. I can usually get those up pretty high. I don't know if it'll hold up, but there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm just going to sit back. Regardless, no matter what happens, I've had a great time in China. Hope I make the final, but if not, it's been an experience of a lifetime. So.
Very impressive. Good luck.
Thanks, Kev.
Well, the bottom line for Josh Thigpen is if either of these 2 fellas finishes 5 stones, regardless of the time, then he will be out of the competition, because one of these 2 fellas will have guaranteed themselves at least 2nd spot, and that will be enough to put Thigpen out. So he needs both these fellas to have a disaster if he's going to advance, and I don't think that's going to happen. This has almost come down to a straight head-to-head between Dominic Filiu and Raivis Vidzis. And your money would be on the Canadian because he's the one that's been finishing the stronger. Vidzis, though, knows what he's up against. But the Canadian's looking good. He's got a very good lead here, and he's just 1 stone away from destroying Thigpen's time. Or did he go too fast? Well, he's got to just think and regroup, and there's a chance, just a chance here for Vidzis. 34.28 was the winning time for Thigpen, and Dominic Filiu has just broken that to confirm #1 place in the Atlas Stones and 2nd place overall, and there's nothing Raivis Vidzis can do about it.
Oh, complete despair there for the Latvian. He did so well fighting back when Filiu rushed off into the lead as he did. And I have to say, I was surprised to see Filiu drop that stone, one of the best stone lifters we've seen so far this year in international competition. Lucky to get it on.
Josh, you finished just behind Dominic in the stones. You had a great performance. Are you going to go home and train harder and come back next year?
Oh, always. You always got to go back and train harder. I'm only 23 years old, so I've got a lot of time to grow and get better. And this was a blast. I couldn't be happier for Dominic. I really like Dominic, and he put on a great performance coming from behind. So it was great. He really had to pick it up.
Dominic, that was a fantastic performance. You must really be happy.
I'm really happy. I knew I was going to do good on the stones, but I wasn't sure if I was good enough to beat Josh. But I guess I was lucky. But like he said, he's only 23, so I think the American strongman future is right there.
You think you have a chance to become world's strongest man?
Me? Yeah, I hope so.
Well, good luck. You're big enough.
Thank you.
Big enough and strong enough when it comes to lifting stones. Filiu winning that event ahead of Josh Thigpen, which means it's the Canadian that makes it through to the final. So here's confirmation with the final leaderboard of this opening qualifying group. Dimek a convincing winner, Filiu finishing in the runners-up spot, and for Thigpen and Vidzis, it's an early flight home. So disappointment for Britain's strongest man, Mick Gosling, but Jarek Dymek continuing the amazing tradition of Polish athletes in this event.
See you next time for Heat 2.